Good morning, everybody. This is Tom from Weekly Gospel Reflections. Today I'm going to do a message. We're going to talk about, do we love? Do we love thy neighbor? Do we care? A lot of times all of us, including myself, number one on the list, I don't always love thy neighbor. And what I mean by that, sometimes I'm either too busy to talk to someone that maybe wants to talk to me, or I'm doing something else. I have a neighbor over here close, and he was talking the other day to me, and we were out there probably about 10 minutes, and I needed to finish some tasks that I was doing. And as we're talking, I said, basically in my mind, I'm done, but he's 80 years old, and he's wanting to chat. He has nobody. He's the only one around. I say he's pushing 80. He's close to 80. And so I found myself saying to myself, why am I here? I'm done talking. But I'm talking to the guy, I'm listening to him, and realized that I need to stop that attitude. I need to really stop doing what I was doing. That's a bad attitude of mine that I have. If it's not convenient to me at the moment, if I'm doing something, because I'm a task-driven guy, I got to complete my tasks. And I realized, stop moving, stop doing what you're doing, Tom. Just go on with the flow. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Let him talk. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the conversation. And I did. We had a great conversation. And you learn a lot. So do we love? Do we do what is right? So today we're going to look at Romans 12. And I'm actually going to read down through the verses. This is about 4 verses here, but I'm going to read these verses. And I think for me, I am going to start trying to practice this. Love, verse 9, love must be sincere. Hate is what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving with the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Self-explanatory. Lord saying, love thy neighbor. And if you ever had a situation where people are actually looking at you and talking to you, and after you get through with the conversation, they go behind your back and they talk bad about you? Do they hate you? Where is that coming from? Why would someone do that, right? So you say to yourself, why would someone go behind my back after I'm talking to them and having a great conversation and talk bad about me? That's one thing that I really try never to do. I'll tell someone to their face, good or bad, but usually I'm not one to critique anybody. Because I learned through the years, whatever you do, it always comes back around to you. And no matter what you do, that person could be jealous, agree, maybe it's something he wants that you have, maybe he wants the ability that you have, maybe everybody has their abilities. As it goes on in here, in this chapter 13, 14, it talks about paying taxes and doing what is right, and loving for the person who they are. And loving that person, because everybody has their own qualities. What are my qualities? Well, I really don't know what they are. I think I do, but I'm not going to say, because people may look at them differently than what I look at it as. But if you're a teacher, teach. If you're a bricklayer, lay bricks. If you're a plumber, be a plumber. And that's a lot of times people don't realize I'm searching on what I want to do. Well, do what is right in your heart. You want to be a pastor? Be a pastor. We often look at these things, and people always try to repay evil with evil. And what I mean by that is if he talks about me behind my back, I'm going to do the same to him. I'm not going to let him do that to me. Well, we sometimes don't really agree with things and things that happen to us, but they just happen to us. When I was a young guy in high school, there was a gentleman there. I was in a mechanic shop. I wanted to be a mechanic. I was a mechanic. And we had quite a few cars in the shop, and this was a really good program through the school. The afternoon was all mechanics. So you had 3 or 4 hours of all mechanics and took a couple classes in the morning. This particular class, I was really amazed at the abilities of everybody. Everybody had their own ability. One guy did body work. One guy worked on the engine. Another guy especially was lights and electrical. Another guy's specialty was finding the problems. He was really good. My specialty was the motor itself. Taking the motor apart, rebuilding the motor. That was my specialty. Actually, I enjoyed that. Nobody bothered me. I could just do my thing. The valves come out of the motor, and you take everything apart. And one of the guys decided he was going to go to the grinder and heat it up really hot, and just heat it up as hot as it could go. Now, I didn't know this guy had a thing against me, but he grabbed that valve, and it was red hot. He was holding it with a rag. Then he grabbed the back of my arm and put my back of my arm to that, and pushed it down on top of that, and it burnt my arm. And I lost it. I raged red. I saw red. And I beat him up. And almost to the point of death. And from that second on, I said, I may have a problem. A Scottish, Irish mentality, because I'm always a happy person. Everybody seems to be happy. But he forgave me. And I asked him to forgive me. This is later on, after he went to the hospital. And I was on the verge of getting kicked out of school, but they did not kick me out because it was an act of violence against me. But my actions, there was probably 20 in the class, and all 20, and I only weighed 140 pounds. So can you imagine? I'm 6'2" and 140 pounds. And it got to the point to where there was everybody trying to pull me off, and nobody could do it. Nobody could do it. I was strong enough and able enough to keep everybody off while I was hitting him. So I realized, I said, the Lord thy God, and I was Christian. And boy, from that second on, my attitude has changed considerably. So what you have to do is, God puts you in situations like that. And I think you need to practice hospitality. What would you do? Would you do that? Would I do that today? If it's a matter of life or death, a matter of my family, a matter of somebody trying to take my land or my house, or trying to do something, of course. Because I'm not going to sit and have that happen. But the Lord's saying, do not do that. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor like you love yourself. And so I have, and I do. But we all get in situations that I'm not perfect, and I don't come on here to claim I'm perfect or anything about it. But I do want to tell you that things happen, and sometimes you just have to really believe in God and the faith that you have. As you know, we don't agree some of the times on what happens and what happens in government and things like that. And sometimes that we all need to look at who we are as a person. If you go in the same verse, if you go into in verse 8, verse 13, let no debt remain outstanding except for continuing debt to love one another. For he who loves his fellow man is fulfilled law. The commandments: do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not covet, and whatever other commandment there may be, are all summed up in this one rule: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to its neighbor, therefore love is fulfillment of the law. And I think, and me, for an example, I learned a lot through the years, and one of the things that I've learned more than anything else is I do love everybody. I really do. My intentions to anybody and everybody is to always love. And I think sometimes people itself falls short in that. And I have found that since I've been back in the States, that I have found that I got to tell you, what a loving culture we have here. People are loving. You know, as you guys know, I traveled throughout the last 7, 8, 9 states. And every state that I've been in, I mean, every state that I've been in, I'm talking, I've been to Louisiana, Florida, Texas, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia, North and South Carolina. And all these places that I have been, in West Virginia, all these places that I have been, everybody has been nice. I didn't see any squabbles. I didn't see anybody arguing or fighting. I don't see, as people would say, people walking around that are hurting, dire straits, homeless. There are homeless. Is there millions? Not where I'm at, that I can see. I'm on the highways. I'm in the inner city. I'm taking people to subdivisions. I'm taking people to projects. I'm taking people to mobile homes. I'm taking people to RVs. I see people from all tracks of life. I'm taking executives to the airport. I'm taking executives that are, have good jobs. Corporate executives from NASCAR, FAA, marshals. I took 2 marshals to the airport. Marshals. Took a Texas Ranger to the airport. And why? Well, they all have meetings. They all have things going on. They don't always have a car. They fly in, they fly out. And the great conversations I have with every one of the people that I've dealt with, it's always been positive. People always talking, and I say people online. But reality out here in the true world, this is the way it is. Now a lot of that's made up. And so the Lord wants you to know this, that He loves you no matter what. You should love everybody else no matter what. And I think if we look in depth and think about that, I think you'll find that no matter what, that you're going to be loved back. If they hate you, let them hate you. You love them. And I don't fight through that anymore as much as I used to, but I did fight through that. And I want to thank everybody for always watching my videos. And I want to thank everybody for always coming on our channel. God bless.